Yeah, like that. So, hi everybody. Welcome to Amy Nolte Music. This is Donaldo from Nicaragua.
Hello.
He's visiting today, and he's going to take a lesson. And he's telling me that he's just been. You're in a jazz band.
Yeah.
And you've got to take some scat solos sometimes.
Yeah.
But mostly you're like trained classically.
Classically and popular. I used to have a rock band back then, and like 2 years ago, and right now I'm just focused on jazz.
Okay, so you've been working on Autumn Leaves with my videos.
Yeah.
And what key was that in? Do you remember?
I thought it was E flat.
Maybe there.
Yeah.
It's my key, so it's kind of high for you.
It's kind of high. And the regular one was in like.
I think. Is
Is
that better?
Yeah, it's better.
Can I just hear you sing it?
Yeah.
One time? Okay.
Dead falling leaves drift by the window. The autumn leaves are red and gold. I say Jolene, that summer kisses and summer nights are used to cool. Since you run away, my days grow long. Then soon I'll hear winter song. But I miss you most of all, my darling. When autumn leaves start to fall.
You try a scat solo?
Da 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 da
That was really nice. You have a really good ear.
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous right now, but.
I know. That was great though. You got a good ear, and I can tell you sang some nice like color notes.
Okay.
Like notes that most of the time like classically trained people wouldn't even hear. Like I heard you do da da, like that's cool. That's the ninth, and I heard you even sing when we got to a minor chord. You sang this note on it.
Okay.
Something like that. It was good. I also really like that you're not singing crazy syllables.
Okay.
You're just doing a lot of da.
Yeah. Something like that. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, one thing you did was at the beginning, it was almost like you were gonna sing something fast and then you stopped. And
I was trying to remember some licks to
You were.
fit on it.
do you feel like you did?
I don't know.
No. Okay, now if you had to stop and think about it, could you think of a lick? Yeah, that's
right now.
mine.
Yeah. I remember the Bill Evans lick,
Mm-hmm.
that the one da 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 da.
Yeah, I know that one. Oh, let's see. I mean, of course I know it. The trick is to find your starting note.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
You have to know the key, actually the key, right?
most of all, my darling, sing with me. When autumn leaves start to fall. Now, you have to be able to find your starting note from there.
Okay.
So there's your note, fall. The starting note of this lick is actually all the way up on a D.
Okay.
So you have to figure out a way to find that. So if you go in your head, start to fall, you sing the octave.
Okay.
Da, one step down.
Okay. Yeah,
there you go. That's right. So we gotta have another lick for
Okay.
the beginning. And let's make that lick be one that you think of right now. So, miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall. Think of something.
Da, 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 da.
I like it. That's good. Let's make sure that it fits right in the pocket.
Okay.
So, that means the pocket.
Yeah. When you're thinking about a lick, you think about the chord, in all the notes and in the chord and all the tensions and all that.
No, not necessarily. But like right now, and I asked you to make a lick. Like a lick can be as simple as what you just did. It's just a melody.
Yeah.
And I mean, jazz players, when we talk about licks, usually we talk about something with more notes and it's a little more complicated. But a lick can be anything. So you kind of went da 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 da, something like that. You just want to make sure that that you sing it so that I could write it. So when you sang, you were kind of like da 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 da, something like that.
Yeah.
And it would be really hard to write those rhythms. But if we take it ba 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 do da 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 da.
Yeah.
We try that?
Try more musical.
Ba ba da 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 da. Good. Then a nice thing to do is to take that lick and make it so that it fits the next part. So you change it a little bit. Da 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 da. Keep that same note and sing something almost the same, like the same up and down and rhythm, but
Okay.
a little bit different notes.
Da 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 da.
Not bad. Da 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 da. That's good. Ba ba da 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 da. Good. See if we can remember what you did at the beginning. Autumn leaves start to fall.
Da 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 da.
Good. Next part.
Da 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 da.
I love it. It's actually the same thing, and let's write it down. It's like a quarter as ba ba. We'll write it so easy. Ba ba do ba. Was it ba da do da 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 do da? Like that.
When you're transcribing something, you transcribe everything that you hear, or just go with something more, just to know and remember the things.
It depends what it's for. So if you have to write something for your guitar player to play, you have to write it exactly.
Okay.
But if it's just for you to remember,
Yeah.
something like what I've just done is good. So it's just, I just wrote a rest so that you can remember it. Because one, da 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 ba do da 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 da, like that. Can you read that?
Yeah.
You can kind of read it, right? I mean, it's the idea of same, same down, down, up, down, same.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you did, and we did that over the A minor chord, D7, G major, and that's not super important, but it's good to know. But then the next chord is the F sharp half diminished to B7 to E minor, and it's cool that you realized that the exact same notes work.
I just follow with
Your
my
ear.
ear.
Yeah, which is perfect. The exact same thing works. But what we were gonna do is we were gonna take that lick and use it here, but because that's where it works. What is that lick again?
Da 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 da.
No, the Bill Evans.
The Bill.
Da da do da da.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So it would fit over these chords, and that's what I talk about in the video. But it's a little bit too early to play a complicated lick like that.
Okay.
So in your scat solo, the best thing to do is to start with something from your heart.
Okay, just follow my.
Yes, but make it so that I could write it down.
Okay, I understand.
Okay, so
I keep musical.
make it musical. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And make it you gotta make it swing is the so da 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 do da do da da that swings.
Okay.
But if we did it like you did it the first time, it wasn't really swinging, right?
No.
Da
no.
da. It was
No,
like
no, no,
I couldn't exactly tell where it was. So you gotta think about that. You think about what's a beautiful thing to sing, and I've gotta put it on the beat.
Okay.
Okay, so let's try this.
Da 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 da.
Beautiful. And you're gonna do it again.
Da 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 da.
I love it. I love how you sang one note the second time. You didn't sing that second note. You held this one.
Okay.
That's beautiful, and that shows it shows musical maturity. You take something, you repeat it, but you just barely change it. So now I'm gonna ask you to come up with something. We've got these same chords coming up again: A minor, D7, G major. I'm gonna ask you to come up with something new from your heart,
Okay.
and maybe you want to just think about it for a second. I'll play the chords over. I'll keep playing. Good. Do it a couple times. Okay, do it again. Keep the same one. Find one you like and stay with it. I like that one. Da 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 da. What is it? E. So we've got another rest. Da 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 da. Yeah, that's beautiful, and that's a cool note to hear. It's the major 7 on the G major chord.
Is this it?
Yeah. Good. Now let's see if the same thing works over the next chords, because it'll change to these chords again.
Yeah.
And let's see if it works. All right. So let's go back to this. Next up.
Yours is the
Good,
line,
again. It works, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It's cool like that because we've got 2-5-1s, 2-5-1 major, and 2-5-1 minor.
Yeah.
But they're relative to each other. Do you understand?
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, so G major and E minor, they're related.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why many of the same notes work. Okay, cool. So let's make sure you can sing all of those notes exactly.
Okay.
1 ba da 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 da. Good. 1 ba da 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 da. Next step is I want you to sing every note that's on the beat a little longer and a little louder, and the ones that are not on the beat, I want you to barely sing them.
Like articulation, right?
Yeah, articulation.
Okay.
So we got like 1 da n. So we're gonna say n on them. Da 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 like that.
Okay.
3, 4, 1.
Da 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 da.
Yeah, good. Don't rush. You're rushing. 2, 3, 4, 1.
Da 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 da.
Good. Your D's are a little bit harsh, like a little bit strong.
Okay.
So we want to soften up that D. It's the difference between da 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 da
Yeah.
and da 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 da. Like that. You try.
Yeah.
3, 4.
Da 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 da.
Good. Can you get a little bit a little more n on the ones. Da 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 da.
Da da da.
Yeah, let's do this together. Da 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 da. And it's not a da din da. It's just a da n.
Done.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
Done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Da da
Done,
da
done,
da
done,
da
done,
da
done,
da
done,
da 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 da. Just keep
Okay,
speaking it
okay.
for one.
done, 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 done.
Yeah, you're kind of adding it again. Da din da din.
Yeah.
Maybe it's hard too because you speak Spanish. That
Yeah.
some things are more difficult in other languages.
Done, 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 done.
Yeah, that's
Something
right.
like
Yeah, try to make your da a little more ah, a little less da.
Okay.
Done, 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 done.
Oh, that's beautiful. 3, 4.
Done, 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 done.
It's better. Do it again.
Done, 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 done.
Yeah. Next note. Da. Good. Now change it slightly.
Done, 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 done.
Can you think of 2 other notes to sing on that part? Da da. Instead of those, maybe you go up.
Okay. Let's try.
Done, 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 done. Done, done.
That's a good one. Try again. Try to see if you like anything better.
Okay.
Done, 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 done.
I like that. That's a good one. I like that. So we can keep the same thing here, same thing there. And that's an E to a B. Yeah, that's cool. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna hold on to that probably. Good. Okay, here's the part where we're gonna add the Bill Evans lick because the bridge is coming up. And see, it starts on the major 2-5-1, and then it goes minor 2-5-1, major 2-5-1, minor 2-5-1. But then the bridge starts on the minor 2-5-1.
Okay.
Okay, so do you remember the note? It's kind of high in your voice. It's a D.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta remember how to find it. So you were just going da 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 da. Yeah. Yeah. It's quite a change from what we've just been doing because it's so high.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know if you could sing it lower. Can
Yeah.
you hit that note?
Yeah.
Yeah, sing it. Good. All right. So we've got. Remember that note? Yes, that's right. That's it. That's good. You nailed it. Okay, let's see if you can. I just realized they're totally looking at the back of your head. Maybe
Okay.
you could like turn your chair so that you face me just a tiny bit more.
Like
Yes,
this?
that would
Okay.
be perfect. Then I can see your next face. Okay, so we're let's do it in. We'll do it twice. That was the first time, right?
Yeah,
Second
yeah.
time. What's your note? Next note. You got it, but the first note wasn't right. So da, da. Remember your note here, da, and go down one more.
That's the secret.
Yeah, that's the secret.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, so one more time from here. No, the second one. Perfect. That was really good. Okay, let's go back and do the beginning. You can read it
Okay.
so that you don't forget it. So nice. you're kind of on this note instead of this note. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know-
I need to practice.
This lick that you sang is actually really close to that, isn't it? It kind of comes from it, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some similarities, but yeah. So you need to practice, and it's not a bad idea. Like, say your band was going to play Autumn Leaves,
Yeah.
and you knew you had to take a scat solo. It's not a bad idea to compose a solo.
To compose. Okay.
And to use it for a while.
Okay.
Until you really learn it, and you can sing every note just right, so that you're not like faking, you know.
Yeah, but because sometimes you're just doing
Yeah.
fake notes all the time.
Right.
It's
Yeah, you want to try to avoid that. And I think a good way is to compose a solo. I did that at the beginning. I took somebody else's solo. Like, I had this competition that I was doing, and I just took somebody's solo. And I knew that probably the judge wouldn't know that solo.
Yeah.
And so I just sang it. But I did change a couple of notes. And now, it's on that song called One Note Samba. Do you know that song?
I think so.
It's a cool song. But every time I sing One Note Samba, I can still hear that other solo.
In your hair.
Yes.
Oh.
But I choose to ignore it and sometimes to take parts of it.
I understand. So that's the key of learning how to scat and improvising with your voice.
When you're beginning, yeah. But you're so talented, you don't have to take it from somebody else. Like, you can come up with those parts from your heart on your own because you're talented. Yeah. But if you always did that, if you always just sang what you hear, you'll never get better.
Yeah.
So that's why we steal from Bill Evans or
Yeah.
anybody else,
I
and
understand.
then we make a spot for it. So you could say, all right, my band's gonna play Autumn Leaves tonight. I'm gonna sing whatever I want until I get to that B section, and then I'm gonna da 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 da. Then whatever I want, you
Yeah.
know. You can just make one spot. I'm gonna nail this one lick in that spot, and a lot of times, people will notice that. They'll be like, "Whoa, you really sang that in tune," or
Yeah.
yeah. It's helpful.
Sometimes that's the most difficult part.
Mm-hmm. You have your water, Kat. So I don't know. We could keep going with this if you wanted, or we could talk about something else. It's up to you.
Well, what do you study harmony, of course, because you play the piano. But when you're improvising with your voice, you think about the chord, and you know it by heart all the chords of a song or
Yeah.
jazz standard. And so I have like a jazz singer study all the harmony and all the chords and maybe singing all the
Yes.
notes.
Yes.
And
And you can play some piano, can't you?
yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
So let's. What's another song that you've been working on? Do you have another one?
Yeah, a bunch of it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Do you have your iReal Pro app?
Yeah.
Perfect. Maybe Satin Doll?
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
so
see one.
now you switch me spots.
Okay.
And you want to put your phone up like this or something? Do you need to see your phone? Do you know the song?
Kind of.
You kind of know it?
Yeah, this was.
Yeah, you totally know it. That's great. That's great. Let's make it more simple. Just play the bass note. Only one note. Just D.
Okay.
But
It was. Okay.
that's right.
And then what?
D. Flat it.
It
that's great. That's really helpful. You just play a bass note and you sing the melody.
Okay.
And you do that a whole bunch of times until you like it's kind of sunk in for you. Then you need to sing the bass notes.
All the bass notes.
Yeah. So try that. Just sing the bass note. And it's nice if you have a friend, and
Yeah.
today you do. It's me. And I can sing the melody and you can sing the bass notes.
Okay.
So try that. And you can play them and sing them. So
Yeah,
da
yeah.
da yeah. Da 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 D.
No, no.
Da.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Hit the
Okay.
note. Play the note. There you go.
Sorry.
Da da da. Da da da. Good. Let's do it again. It's hard.
I see your point. I see your point. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So
you can just hold it.
okay.
Perfect. Next step.
There's something like
Yeah,
ear
go ahead.
training, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you just you have to get and you have to have a very good ear.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't have a friend to do it with, you can record yourself on your phone and then play it back.
Okay.
Right. So you record you singing the melody, and just set your phone there, press play, and now you sing the bass notes
Okay.
with yourself.
I get it.
The next step is to sing some scales over those bass notes.
Okay.
So if you play your D and you sing the melody, try it. Okay, good. Now start on a D
Yeah.
and sing a scale. Don't even think about what the scale is, just sing it. Almost. Think about the melody. Yes, what's the third note? Yes. Good, you're a little sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
So that's over the D chord, and you're just singing a D natural minor scale, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Now go to the G, but sing the melody. So go back and go
Okay, okay.
da da da. Okay, good. Now that you've got the song in your head, sing the G scale.
No, sorry.
That's right. Mixolydian.
Yeah.
You nailed it. That was perfect. How did you know to sing that scale?
I don't know. I just know.
That's good. Good for you.
Okay.
What's the name of the chord?
G7.
Yes. So anytime you're going to play a 7 chord, a dominant chord, the Mixolydian scale works great.
Okay.
And
The
can you
flat
play?
7, right?
Yeah, the flat 7.
Okay, okay.
Play it for me. Good. And on the minor chord, you can do what you did. You can sing the natural minor scale, or you can sing the Dorian scale, which
Okay.
is a sharp 6.
Okay, you're gonna be like.
It's a little better.
Yeah.
Good.
So you studied the scales and the bass just to know to internalize. I don't know.
Internalize.
Internalize,
That's
yes,
right.
the harmony of the song or in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at first you can do it really slow like that. You can sing through every scale on every chord, but then your goal is to play the bass note and sing the scale in time. So like that.
Can I try it?
Yeah, try it.
Okay.
Yeah, good. And we have. So it does it twice, right? So go back and do it again.
Okay.
Good. Now it goes to E minor.
Yeah.
Sharp that 6.
Yeah.
C sharp.
Sure.
scale, yeah.
I was so started.
Yeah. And so then you do the same thing.
Yeah. Ah, I get it.
Yeah.
And it was.
Almost play the Mixolydian. Now we've got A7. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, you won't actually do that when you're taking your scat solo, but if you do it on your own time and you practice,
Yeah.
then you'll just like you said, internalize the harmony.
Okay. I
And then after after you've spent some time doing that, then you can start to just sing some things that you think sound pretty. Like
the thing
yeah,
that we did in the
yeah, like
beginning.
from your heart, yeah,
Okay.
like that. And you can also go back to my video and take my 2-5-1 licks
Yeah.
and use those because they work great too.
So, when you're starting to learn a new song,
Mhm.
so let's put example, Olio or something like
Yeah.
that, no, or
Olio?
whatever, yeah,
Yeah.
or something like that. And I can start and putting the harmony there and then singing the bass and singing all the scales in each chord.
Mm-hmm.
And then know the melody by heart, of course.
Yes. Yeah, the melody is important.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And then you can start writing some licks and writing some solos.
Yeah,
Do you think that's the way to?
I do.
Okay.
I do. In fact,
That's the thing that I was looking for, you know.
yeah, I have another girl that I used to teach, and she was really talented like you, and she would ask me. She would say, "Will you just write the solo for me?" and I did that for her a couple of times, and I think it helped her, but she didn't learn to do it on her own, so it was kind of bad for me to write that solo.
Yeah, it's
I thought it would help her to learn some licks that maybe she could use in other songs, but she never did that. So I've learned that it's better to have the the student write their own stuff for 75%,
okay.
and then maybe 25% you steal from somebody else, maybe from me, maybe from somebody famous.
Okay,
Yeah,
I understand.
good.
Ah,
How are we doing on time?
I don't know.
I have one lesson. I have a lesson after you.
Yeah.
What is it?
12:35.
35?
Yeah.
5 more minutes.
Yeah, we have.
What should we do?
Wait, let's play. Let's sing.
Let's sing. How about that? What should we sing? Satin Doll, Autumn Leaves, something different?
Something different.
Okay.
Okay, we should sing. I don't know. Let me check what I have here. Summertime.
Good idea. Do you know what key you do it in?
I think it's in A minor. I don't know.
Me too. It's really high.
Yeah, kind of.
Want to sing it up high? Okay.
And the living is easy. The fish are jumping and the garden is high. Your dad is rich and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry.
You're really good at taking the melody and changing it. That's good.
Yeah.
Do you like to do that?
Yeah, I love it to do.
I can see that. I want to tell you a little rule about it. One rule is that the first time that you sing it, if you could sing the melody normal and
Okay.
straight, and
Yeah.
then you take your scat solo, and then the last time is the time to do that.
I understand. Yeah,
Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Cool. All right, so let me hear you sing it straight.
It's straight. Okay.
One of these mornings.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna rise up singing. Then you're gonna take the wings and take them to the sky.
You don't know the words yet. But
Till the morning, ain't nothing can harm you.
good.
With daddy
I really like that. Now I'm gonna sing a little bit, and then you. It's like I'll say a question, and
Yeah.
you answer.
Okay, okay.
Good, shorter. Ba ba da, ba ba da, da 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 da. Good. This time, copy me exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Good. Now we switch, and you have to make something so easy that I can copy.
Okay.
2, 3. That was really good. What do you think about it?
Yeah. Awesome. It's very fun.
That's fun, huh?
Yeah.
I always wish that I could have a friend to practice with all the time.
I wish I could live in California and have a singing teacher like you.
Do you have a friend that you could sing with?
Yeah.
Good. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So if you could make one day a week and have your friend come, and does your friend play piano?
Yeah, I play the guitar.
Better guitar too? That's good. So your friend could play, or you could put on a play along.
Yeah.
And you just take turns. In fact it's easier if you just take turns because then you don't, like, the person who's playing can think better about singing.
I understand.
Yeah, but those kind of lines that we're coming up with together that's another way to build improvisation. So if I do it by myself, I can do the same kind of thing that you and I were doing. Like a question answer. Yeah. And it's so much better to do that than, so I hear so many singers, it's like they start somewhere and they just, and they just go and go and go.
Yeah.
And you're like you just listen to them and you're like, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, and if you sing something and then you sing it again, and then you change it a little bit.
Like a saxophone player.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that because sometimes saxophone players say, I want to play like a vocalist.
I want to play like Dexter Gordon,
I
want to sing like Dexter Gordon.
I do too. Dexter Gordon's so cool.
Yeah.
But most of the time the horn players are trying to sound like singers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear Dexter Gordon, that's something that we do.
Yeah.
And he just tries to copy it.
Yeah.
So we learn from each other. But let me show you a bad example.
Okay.
So if you're gonna take a solo and you
I understand.
Some people do that and they get so lost in their head that it's very uncomfortable to listen to. The listener's just like, That's why people think that jazz is difficult or inaccessible,
Yeah.
because they hear something like that and they go, "I'll never be able to understand that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Chinese or
Yeah,
like,
it's that's right, like something totally foreign.
yeah.
So the answer is,
Is be musical?
yeah, be musical. Good. And give the audience something to understand.
Yeah. Easy to understand.
Easy to understand. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You can pick your places to put in your difficult licks.
Okay.
And then in that moment, you're teaching yourself something and you're teaching the audience something.
Yeah.
But for the most part, sing what comes out of you and what you think people will think is beautiful.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
Cool.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah. Okay. Just to be clear.
Yeah.
When you started to learn a new song, well, I learned the melody because I'm a singer,
Mm-hmm.
and I can analyze the chords and if it's 5, 2, 5, 1 or something like that,
Yes.
and then I can sing the bass lines,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can sing the scales,
Yes.
and then I can put my own licks on it.
Yes, that's the next step. Your
That's
own
the next
licks.
step.
And what's the next step?
Just improvising with this.
Somebody else's lick.
Somebody else's licks,
Mhm.
yeah. And the next step is use those vocabulary to build my own and improvise with that.
Yeah. And you can use the composed thing for a while,
Yeah, for a while. Yeah. That's a very good point.
but don't do it forever.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, so you take, if your composed solo is, Autumn Leaves, you can do that for a while, but then say, I'm just going to do something a little different. Try it. Just a little different from that. 4. There you go. Yeah, that's right. Da da, da 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 da, something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, I understand.
Good.
How long did it took you to learn how to scat and improvise with your vocal?
I'm still learning.
Yeah, it's just forever.
Yeah, I'll always be learning. And someday I'll probably think, oh, why did I tell him that? This is a better way. But
Well, that's the thing that we know right now.
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Amy,
Let me
that's
turn
very
this off.
yeah.